Guru Datta Singh and Guru Fatehkar, and we are presenting the KRI recipe of the month for November. Today we're featuring a staple food of our community, the almond. Almond is a really great nut. It's actually a seed, but people eat it as a nut. It's high in easily digestible protein. It's got manganese, phosphorus. It's great for controlling your appetite and your blood sugar, and it's very high in antioxidants as well. So we use it in a variety of applications in our community. We're going to show you how to do, these are soaked almonds, and then you peel them. The skin of the almond is highly astringent, so it can create problems both internally and with your skin. Then we have, these are almonds that are sauteed in ghee or almond oil and honey, and they are specifically used by women for the first few days of their menstrual cycle. It's something very specialized. And we have almond milk. This almond milk is, again, it was intended originally for children, but it can be used for anyone who wants a very mild, easy to assimilate source of nutrients and protein, very easy to digest. So all of this is from the book called Foods for Health and Healing, and we often pull recipes from this book, but there is a chapter called Foods for Health and Healing, and it's got great information about many foods that are good for you yogically, starting with the almond, of course. There's also chapters about food for children, women, and men. So check that out if you want to get it either in print or in the ebook. And we're going to go on and just show you step by step how to prepare all of these different treatments of the almond. And as always, we encourage you to try them and let us know if you liked it. Use our Facebook or whatever social media and get back to us. Thank you very much.
Sadnam, welcome to the KRI Kitchen for November 2015. This month we're going to be talking about almonds, for one thing, a great nut that is so nutritious and easy to digest for most people. It's actually a seed when you come to think of it, but it's usually thought of as a nut. Generally, you want to soak almonds, and that rehydrates them. I've soaked these in just some spring water overnight, and I wanted to show you the difference. This is a soaked almond, and this is one that hasn't been soaked, and you can see how much bigger it is. It's rehydrated and has more water in it. Generally, with almonds, better to soak them overnight and then take off the skins, and you can take them off just by peeling them off, grabbing it with your fingernail and just peeling it off like that. Start with the pointed end, it's usually easier. Or you can take the soaked almonds, put them in another dish and pour over some boiling water, let it sit for a few minutes, and then that helps just slip the skins off once it's been sitting for just a few moments, 30 seconds or so. There's one recipe that Yogi Bhajan talked about for women very early on during our days with him at women's camp in New Mexico, and that was having almonds at the first few days of your moon cycle when you're menstruating. And his recipe is to take just a handful of almonds that have not been soaked. This is one of the times where you just take it like this, and with the skin still on, in a pan over medium heat with a little bit of almond oil or ghee. I'm using ghee here. And then you want to just saute the almonds lightly until they start popping. You'll see that when it starts heating up, the skins will start popping. Just watch the heat on that so they don't burn first. And then when that's done, just takes a moment or two. Just put them in a little dish like this. And you can drizzle just a half a teaspoon or so of maple syrup or honey on top. is a really delicious little treat to have. The almond skins actually have a lot of flavonoids, and I was looking it up. The almond skins flavonoids with the meat of the almond itself is very brings a lot of antioxidants to work together. So you'll see that the almonds are going to cook for a few minutes, and I'll just show you in the next clip what it's like when they're done. So it took only about 30 seconds, not even a minute, to have the almonds roasted in the ghee. You can see they're nice and toasty looking, and you just drizzle a little sweetener on top like that, and that's your treat. Here are the almonds that I had poured the boiling water over, the ones that were soaked, and just to make the skin come off a little bit easier, and you can see they'll slip off pretty easily. You can actually soak any nut to rehydrate it, and it's much more easy to digest in that state. And I was reading also that if you soak the nuts, especially the almonds, that you actually just really only want to eat less. You probably only have like a handful instead of if you have them plain and they're salted, and then that starts a craving where you eat more. So this is really nutritious and delicious and really good for you. So that's how you peel almonds. So here's another very simple recipe using almonds. This recipe is from Foods for Health and Healing. It's a recipe from Yogi Bhajan, and it's in the children's section, so it's formulated for children specifically, but of course anybody could have this recipe. It's very simple. I have about 12 to 15 soaked and peeled almonds. Remember, we've soaked the almonds in the spring water overnight and peeled them. That goes in a blender, and the total amount of water for that amount of almonds is 12 ounces. And the recipe says to just put in some of the water first, and then to blend it up and then add the rest of the water. So I'm going to turn on the blender, and then the next clip I'll show you after it's been blended. So I blended it for about 10 or 15 seconds. We put in the rest of the water. Again, about 12 ounces of water, about 15 peeled almonds. This is a tablespoon of soaked organic Thompson raisins. Put the lid back on. The raisins are for the sweetener. And then the next thing is to strain it. I have a very fine tea strainer. You could also use cheesecloth. So commercial almond milk often is made with non-organic almonds, and it has synthetic additives like the vitamin D and vitamin E. They sometimes use synthetic vitamins, and oftentimes there's cane sugar, and there's thickeners, which aren't so bad. They're usually seaweed thickeners. But this is really a very pure form, especially good for children when you don't want to be giving them a lot of additives. Strained it all. And then you can just put it in a glass container in the fridge, and it'll probably keep for about three days or so.